It's incredible how narrow it is. Here we are. Not too hard to catch this guy. Crawdad number 2. Let's see. I'm at the Colby Bridge day use area, planning on doing some recon, you know, and I gotta say, upper Big Tujunga looks really dry. I don't know if this is gonna be a good idea. So if you just look down there, there's really no water flowing right now. I kind of wanted to do this on the weekend, like a really big loop, but that might not happen. Anyways, I think I'm gonna do this some other time. I was really hoping on like rock hopping and finding some good pools, but yeah, we're definitely in a drought year. I'm happy I actually came up now to do this. I don't know, what I may do is go down, you know, Big Tujunga a little more and just explore some of those areas, you know, see how that's like. So I'm hiking down from the Hidden Springs picnic area, still actually above Big Tujunga Reservoir. I just want to see if there's like any water flowing at all in the narrows right now, you know. And yeah, this is just above Mill Creek Falls, so when there is flow, it's a nice waterfall. So there is a little bit of moisture here, you know, nothing crazy though. But yeah, it does pond off a little bit. You know, as you're gonna see shortly, this area has really been hit hard quite a bit with people doing vandalism and graffiti. But I've seen some pictures of the narrows you're about to see before all the graffiti, and I think this was within the last like decade or so. So yeah, just came through here, and I want to say I am lucky that there is a little bit of water here, because I've seen this whole area just completely dry in the past. It is weird kind of getting used to another drought year, you know, given the fact that we had like 2 really rainy years in 2023 and 2024. This might have been a really nice pool in the spring, or over the last 2 years. Definitely bummed I didn't come down this way, you know, but I did go to the falls within, I think it was either 2023 or 2024. Don't quite remember, but looks like we are getting some nicer pools here at the moment. So yeah, aside from the graffiti here and there, I'd say this pool is kind of nice. So if I don't find anything better, I might do a little cold plunge there. So this is the narrow section. Looks like someone installed a rope, but what you essentially do is kind of climb down this and then go around that way. And yeah, it's incredible how narrow it is. And there is some graffiti, but it's not actually all that bad in my opinion. There could be a lot more. Yeah, I guess there actually is kind of a bit of graffiti here. Nothing insane, as I mentioned before, but if you do come here, please refrain from vandalizing these beautiful canyon walls. These narrows are real neat and real narrow, you know, and there's a nice little cave right up there even. And I think there may be a few more cool spots on my way down. So the water is low, but it's not really gone yet, which is good. And yeah, these are these narrow canyon walls of Mill Creek. So yeah, real gorgeous. Just noticed a frog kind of hopping around. Yeah, so these guys are out and about doing their thing. So that section of narrows behind me, again, real magical. And I think last time I came up here, I did it from the Monkey Canyon area, which is more of a bushwhack. Like, I mean, I'm definitely rock hopping now, but I gotta say, like, earlier on, there's kind of a trail, and it wasn't really even in bad condition. I think when I've been here before, it was worse. So it's a good thing this is getting some use. The graffiti's bad, in my opinion, but yeah, anyways, further down we go. So right now I'm right above Mill Creek Falls, and I gotta say that pool, a lot less spectacular than it was last year, I think. A lot of sediment in there. The water level's kind of low. If I wanted to access it, you know, the way you do that kind of is sort of climbing up this section, and then you go down, and it's not as bad as it looks. I'm not sure if I'm really going to do that right now. It's just the pool doesn't look phenomenal. So I think my time is better spent exploring lower parts of Big Tujunga. But again, I'll put a little photo of when I came up from, you know, below. And yeah, maybe next year I'll revisit this spot when there's more water and that pool's a little deeper. I could kind of go up there and show y'all. I don't know, maybe I will. So what you do is kind of climb up this way. I'd say it's kind of most sketchy over here, and then slowly you can kind of make your way down there. I'll just do it real quick, but yeah, really definitely semi-dangerous, so do at your own risk. I want to re-emphasize that this is very sketchy down climbing. You can see that there's a lot of fallen rock here, and a good amount of that is actually kind of loose, so I don't know, like, you know, I mean, it's fine, I've done it before for me, but I don't know if I'm going to frequent this place, you know, from that other direction. There does seem to be a little rope there. Might be a better way for getting up. I'm just going to go back the way I came, I think, but before that, let's get a little view of the falls. This is Mill Creek Falls, and, you know, there's a pool here, but not really as deep as what I was hoping for. You know, I've been here in the past and it's been real deep, but anyways, yeah, nice waterfall, a little ferns growing here. So all in all, kind of a cool spot. I'm happy this is at least flowing a little bit. You know, I was really disappointed when I got to upper Big Tujunga Canyon, you know, just, you know, near that Colby bridge site, Colby Bridge picnic area, just because, you know, I was kind of optimistic and I really wanted to do like a kind of long upper Big Tujunga Canyon loop on the weekend, but you know, it is what it is, maybe next year. Anyways, yeah, this is nice, and I do plan on returning through, you know, the lower sections of Big Tujunga through the reservoir, so I'll maybe do a stop there and, I don't know, look for crawdads, something. But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna take a quick little rinse here and then do my sketchy climb up. I'm gonna try this pool here right alongside the waterfall, kinda. Not super deep, but it is kind of the deepest spot at the moment. It's really filled in with sediment since I've last been here, but it also could be the water level. Anyways, I'm gonna kind of tilt my head back and do a cold plunge. Ready? Whew. There we go. Oh, that's nice. Wow. Normally my mouth goes under, but I guess not this time. Oh, wow, that feels really chill though. Anyways, you know, even though it's not what I was, you know, what I saw last year, it's still nice and deep enough for me to at least sit in. So, yeah. All right, nice little soak there. Now I kind of gotta go up here, you know, and make my way up. And I just wanna, you know, do at your own risk. It's not the sketchiest thing I've done on here, but it's sketchy, and you want to take this slow. Your enemy is gaining momentum here because this rock is very steep and very loose, and one little fracture and a lot could come tumbling down. Right? You don't want that to be you, especially further up. That was nice, you know. I do want to say, I don't know if it's just because it's dry or if there's been more erosion or what it is, but I think that climb kind of feels a little more sketchy than what I recall. I kind of had so my hands dirty because I was like scraping away a bunch of like dirt on one of the slopes, and yeah, I mean, you know, doable, but what I would suggest if you do try that is, I don't know, be in good shape for climbing, obviously, stuff like that. And as I may have mentioned before, you really don't want to gain momentum there because like one little slip and pretty steep fall, so nothing really to latch on to. It might be good to bring a rope, to be honest. I don't know, but I've seen other people do it. I know people do it. And yeah, you know, so just warning you. Anyway, let's head back to that narrow section. Here we are, you know, so deep pool, not super deep, but deeper than some. And yeah, this is where it really gets narrow, and yeah, little caves, as I mentioned before. And yeah, this is where you climb up, and it looks doable that way, but I think it's good they have the rope there. This does look feasible though, so not sure it's necessary, but I liked it. This is one of those pools I saw when I was going down, and Yeah, I didn't realize how deep it was. I think it's actually deeper than the Mill Creek Falls pool at the moment. So I think I'm gonna do a little cold plunge here. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. Oh yeah. Nice to get my whole face underwater. So yeah, anyways, I'm gonna release this either tomorrow or Friday. Depends on when I have time to edit it together, which I usually do quite quickly. But yeah, you know, it's mid-July. This could be really dry by August, September, October. So, you know, if you want to check out some of the pools in this area, you know, try to come early. I don't know how Monkey Canyon is now. That's been a good spot these past like years, but I suspect that some of the pools there are still pretty full. It may get pretty dry towards the end of the year though. Very short hike actually, so I just went a little ways down that way. The picnic site is right up here, and yeah, you know, it oddly felt longer going down. I've done it before, but you know, sometimes if you haven't done a hike before, it feels longer going down than back. But yeah, this time was weird. It felt longer going down. So anyways, yeah, let's head up to some lower sections of Big Tujunga. Decided to stop real quick, kind of at an overlook for the reservoir, and you can see that there is still quite a bit of water down there, which is good. We'll have good luck with the pools lower down. All right, I'm at the Grizzly Flats Trailhead, and you know, we do have some families out there doing a little barbecue, some kids playing soccer. So it's a nice place. I can really hear the creek flowing down here. So the water is flowing nicely here. You do have some deep pools, you know, which is good. I think most of what's downstream from the dam should have some pretty nice water holes. You know, again, it's less turbid than it was last time I was here. But I can see some fish right now. They are kind of small, and I caught a bunch of crawdads maybe a month or two ago, just a little upstream. So let's check that out. So my plan here is to catch at least one crawdad. I think I caught like 10 last time, but it was at night, and you know, I had my flashlight, which I think does help. Anyways, yeah, let's kind of wade maybe up that way. 2022 was really the last drought year, you know. And I remember the crawdads were very easy to catch in 2022, you know, midsummer. So, you know, when there's a little less flow than this, it's almost like you know, effortless. I did see one crawdad back there, but, you know, it saw me and spooked. It just swam away real fast. So sometimes they're skittish, if that's the correct word. But yeah, let's keep going up and see what we find. This sort of area is promising, you know, and sure enough, I do see one. I might put this away and try to grab it, but maybe we can just film it. All right, so is the water gonna chill out? Yeah, it's right there. Yeah, maybe I'll be able to catch it, maybe not. There we are. So not too hard to catch this guy. He really swam into that little crevice right there, and then I was able to just pick him out, you know. So there are actually quite a few of these at Big Tujunga, and you might be able to trap them. So the water level's a little lower, but what they like to do is sometimes they'll hide out in spots like this. I'm not sure if we'll immediately see any here. Yeah, I'm not really. We did see this guy, and I'm sure that we'll find more further up that way. Alrighty, there we are. That was actually quite easy, so I think I'm just gonna keep going just a little further upstream. Not too far, maybe turn around there when it gets thick in terms of the vegetation. But yeah, one of the things I wanted to do in 2023 and 2024 even was do a crawdad catch and cook here. But the discharge was just like really insane. I don't know if it was the season, you know, I guess their season is in the summer, but yeah, you know, I see another crawdad right now. There was just so much discharge in the, you know, the creek here. I think it really kind of, you know, made it hard to catch them, or, you know, lowered the population or something. And I did bring a few friends out here because I'd seen a bunch in 2022. And sure enough, we hardly caught anything. I think like I had to go way upstream and find some kind of chill water to catch them. But I think this will be a good year. So yeah, let me try to catch maybe that one other one. Crawdad number 2. So I actually, I saw it over there and I kind of chased it up into those reeds where it got a little shallow, and I was able to grab him before he really escaped. So sometimes you just got to chase them into areas where they're more or less easy to catch. These guys are always a treat to catch for me. It's always fun trying to corner them and get them in a position where I can just grab them. Anyways, yeah, let's let them go. Just gonna set you down here. Yeah. Along Big Tujunga Creek, I've only ever seen the crayfish downstream from the reservoir, and I've done big trips upstream and whatnot. I've seen catfish, the bullhead catfish, the small ones, above the reservoir and below the reservoir. So something to point out. And I've also seen a bunch of trout, both above and below the Big Tujunga Reservoir. Yeah, all right, yeah, this is just looking really nice and chill here. So I think I'm gonna wait up until this one spot I know about with a rock, and then maybe reconnect to the trail. So I'm not going to catch them, but there are 2 pretty big ones here. Maybe there's one now. One of them might have swam away. Yeah, right there. So, oh no, there's 3 actually. There's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there are a bunch here. For whatever reason, yeah, there's another one. So might be a little reflective. Yeah, but you can kind of see it there. I can even see it. So yeah, a bunch of crawdads right by this log. Don't need to catch everyone. I'm not eating them now, but for your reference, good crawdad area. It was neat to check out all those sections of Big Tujunga, the Colby Bridge, really dry there. Mill Creek Falls, a lot more dry than I've seen it, but still a little bit of flow and some nice pools. And then below the reservoir, near Grizzly Flats Trailhead, you got some good stuff. A lot of crawdads. There is flow. It's not really turbid. It's more of like calm pools. But yeah, I think before I really get going back, I want to show y'all some ruins that I did visit at night. I really got kind of a comprehensive video, but I'll show you a few of the spots now, before the sun completely goes down. Yeah, should be cool. So there are spots over there, some neat little things, and some of it's tagged up, this water tower looking thing. But essentially there are a bunch of old cabin ruins here. And I think someone told me that, this was an area that was more inhabited during the, before the station fire in 2009. So if I'm wrong about that, let me know. But you essentially have a bunch of spots here that look like this. And I think there are some kind of across the road. You have graffiti artists tagging these up, and I'd prefer people tag some of these and some of those canyon walls we saw earlier. But yeah, I might get a few photos here and then show y'all a few other spots as I make my way back. So there's really a ton of this here, and I think there are some cabins that are still in use. Last time I was here, I saw some lights on earlier up, but no one really seemed to have a problem with me poking around here. And as far as I've seen, I haven't seen any private property signs or anything like that, So yeah, this is pretty wild here. So crazy one. It's got this room and I don't know, some pretty wild graffiti art here. Yeah, and yeah, you got this other spot. I remember there being one area with this really wild staircase at some point. Might have been this one. I don't remember. Yeah. Let's see. So yeah, I come down this. You got this big chimney here. A lot of chimneys in the San Gabriel. I mean, oftentimes you'll get maybe a cabin made out of, I don't know, wood or whatever, but you'll have these chimneys which are really fireproofed, and when they burn down, they're resilient, cabin walls will often fall too before chimneys. I think it's the material that they use. But anyways, yeah, I think what we're gonna do here, there are a lot of ruins over here and definitely a lot of ruins over there too. But yeah, this is that staircase. So we're just gonna go down this back to the creek and kind of make it over to where I parked. Again, I did decide to explore these at night at one point, so you can try to dig up that video. I'll put the title here. But you know, even given like what I've showed you kind of at the end of this trip, it's really nothing in comparison to all the ruins that were destroyed by that fire back in the day.